And it was embarrassing.
It was the hardest time of Gracie's young life. During a school activity in Porter, her teacher and soccer coach showed her a photo of his erect penis. After months of uncomfortable moments, a 13-year-old child should never experience.
He got really close and his area was touching my butt, and he had me like pushed up against the desk, and he was breathing really hard down my neck.
The Wagner County District Attorney originally charged Johnny Lynn Scott with lewd molestation and lewd acts in the presence of a minor. Court documents show the state found other girls ready to testify to similar experiences with Scott. In one filing, the district attorney alleged Scott performed lewd acts in the presence of another 13-year-old just weeks before Gracie went to police.
The court system decided to make him a deal, and they didn't let us go to trial.
In a plea agreement, Scott was convicted of performing a lewd act in the presence of a minor. The state dismissed the lewd molestation charge. As long as he stays out of trouble for 5 years, he can avoid prison.
They made it difficult on Gracie. She never really got to tell her story.
Gracie's grandmother, Annette Panter, says they agreed to the plea because they understood Scott would have to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. The judgment and sentence signed and sealed on February 22nd. Gracie's 3-year nightmare ended when she saw Scott's lifetime sex offender registry online.
These tears aren't really as much of sadness, are they? They are of anger because of the system.
6 months after Scott's conviction, Annette was checking up on him in the sex offender registry. She noticed his sentence has changed, and so had his conviction. Court records show out of the blue and without notice to Gracie, Scott's conviction changed to indecent exposure. The lewd acts conviction, gone. And now his sex offender registration expires in 2036, not the lifetime registry Gracie traded for a trial.
And now he's basically walking away with nothing. The court system, they let her down.
Outraged, Annette texted the assistant DA, Kathy Lawmeyer, named in the amended judgment, as the attorney representing the state. Lawmeyer's response, she wasn't there. She knew nothing about it. Someone might have had her sign it without her knowledge, or the judge did it. But Lawmeyer texted she objected to the amendment and could prove it.
I don't think anything was illegal at all, no.
Jack Thorpe is Lawmeyer's boss. He says Scott's attorney wrote up the new deal, and as the lead assistant DA for Wagner County, he approved it.
What happened was we entered into a plea agreement, and in order to meet the requirements of the plea agreement, we agreed to amend the charge. But Mr. Scott, in this case, is getting the exact same sentence he bargained for when he waived his right to a jury trial.
Thorpe says it was nothing nefarious, a simple miscommunication.
From now on, certainly that should be communicated to the family. I believe there was probably a miscommunication as to whether or not the family already knew, since it was clear from the early documents that they were pleading or wanting the crime to be a level 1 sex offense.
Then they tried to convince us that we knew all along that he was going to be a level 1 sex offender, which that's not what was described to us.
Gracie says what she bargained for had nothing to do with levels. She just never wanted Scott to touch another child. Now that deal is done, Thorpe may agree.
If the allegations were true, in which he pled no contest to them, then yes, I think he should have been registered for life.
Gracie refuses to serve a life sentence over acts that stole part of her childhood. After 3 years in a system that let her down, she's moving on.
Just focusing on what's coming now instead of the past, instead of focusing on what happened or anything that the court has done.
Katie Wisely, 2 Works for You.